time to get your fix. Come on down, get your horrible gaming review. 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 Wow.
Hello, my name is Zachariah with Old Man Gaming. You have decided to listen to another horrible game review. I'm sure by now you could tell my voice is a little bit off. We have had almost no content on the channel for about a week and a half because I've been hit with COVID for a second time. But I'm trying to get some content back up this week, hopefully some streams if my voice will allow it. But I also want to do some reviews. So today we are coming back with a new review. That being said, got a couple of disclaimers, and I want to start up front with a special one. Number one is, for whatever reason, I tried two different softwares on my phone, two different apps to record. I could not capture my own gameplay for this game. I can only assume that this is because of my own technical faults, and not that the game blocks it itself somehow, but that is possible. And if that is the truth, it's a huge con in my point of view. So I have dutifully recorded someone else playing some footage of this on the internet, and I will probably put a little piece of writing at the bottom just to say where I got it, to quote my sources. But this is a review for Marvel Snap, the digital collectible card game that just came out on mobile everywhere. But before we get into that, the other disclaimers. Number one, I get about 5 to 10 hours with a game. I'm doing a snap judgment review here. The word horrible in the title of this review, in the title of this content, does not necessarily refer to the game or DLC that I am reviewing, but the actual content itself. So, snap judgment review, 5 to 10 hours. I'm trying to give you an idea whether you're going to enjoy it right off the bat or not. I also don't give scored reviews. I think video games are one of the most subjective forms of art. So I'm going to tell you what the game is. Then I'm going to give you the pros and the cons of the game, in my point of view, as all reviews are. Then I'll tell you whether I'll be sticking with it outside the purposes of this review. So, what is Marvel Snap? It is a digital collectible card game. It is brought out to mobiles, mobile phones everywhere. And it is designed by ex-Hearthstone developers and their new company, with the bolster that this is the fastest card game that you can play digitally. And I'm here to tell you that's 100% true. However, that comes with some caveats, but we'll get into it. First, the game is very fast. You go through 2 or 3 tutorial matches. The matches themselves, I think the longest match I've ever had took about 6 minutes to play, which is insanely fast for a card game. Deck creation is incredibly simple. It is only 12 cards to a deck, and you are only collecting Marvel characters here. There's no items or situations or anything like that. It's very straightforward. The characters themselves have a power requirement to play and a power that they add to the field of battle. An energy requirement to play and a power that they add to the battle. They also, most of them, come with some sort of text that changes the way they play, they enter the field, stuff like that. You know, the powers. Games themselves are played in 6 turns, standardly. What happens for the first 3 things? There are 3 locations on the field. Those locations are hidden, with the first one getting revealed on the first turn, second one on turn 2, and third on turn 3. These locations have a myriad of different effects, from giving your characters extra energy, extra power, to taking those things away, to having weird destroy powers, to even having the most weird ones where you have to play with your opponent's deck. You and your opponent can have up to 4 characters at any location, and you take turns playing. You summon the characters to the location with the energy cost. Now, the energy goes up by 1 each turn. This is a standard for all card games nowadays, especially digitally. So it starts at 1, turn 2 you have 2, turn 3 you have 3, so on and so forth. Each character, depending on their power levels and strength, have a cost, an energy cost to be put out there. There is, of course, you have to be a little careful because if you put all 4 characters on a location, it's locked up. Now, you're not trying to take out the opponent's characters. You're not even really fighting them. There are very few cards that actually attack your opponent's side of the field. Instead, what you're trying to do is, at the end of the match, have more power on 2 out of the 3 locations than your opponent. That's it. That's what you're trying to do. So at the end, it will tally up the power of the characters on your side of the field. If that is greater than your opponent's, you win that location. And then, of course, it will warrant in all sorts of special effects. There are interesting movement powers, interesting different placement powers that can really mess with you and your opponent on where you're playing, how you're playing, what you're taking. And there is kind of a deep strategy to that. But again, at the end of 6 turns, whoever has the most power at 2 out of the 3 locations wins the match. You win the match, you get these cosmic cubes. Now, here's where the titular mechanic comes in, the snapping. At the top of the screen, above your characters or whatever, there's a little number in a cube. You and your opponent can each click that number once at any point in the match. If you do, you are basically wagering more cosmic cubes. Once you get out of the rookie status and you get into the actual ranking, these are how you move up in ranking. So the more you get, the higher your ranking goes, the more rewards you get. However, the higher the number is, the more you have to give up if you lose. The final turn itself automatically snaps too. And at any point during the match, the 6-turn match, you can hit the retreat button and just pay whatever the cost is now. So if somebody else snaps, you can hit the retreat right then and pay what the old one was if you're not confident you can get the victory. This mechanic is very interesting because it allows you to bluff your opponent on a lot of levels, and it also allows you to get scared when maybe you necessarily wouldn't be scared. Oh, he's snapping. What does he have in his hand that he's going to beat me with? He's clearly losing. Stuff like that. As far as moving up, there is, just like every game in the world, a season pass, and while every one of the advertisements will tell you this is not pay to win, I don't think it's pay to win. However, it is definitely pay to get ahead. You can, of course, unlock a premium version, which will get you cards that other people don't have. It will also get you gold, and it will also get you credits faster, which allow you to upgrade your cards faster. The upgrading in this game is very interesting because to get new cards, you don't open packs. So there is no buying packs. I think that's what they mean by the kind of no pay to win. There's no buying packs in this. Instead, what you do is you have a collection level. As you get cards, as you play with those cards in matches, the cards will get booster points. And then you use credits, which you win from doing daily achievements and weekly achievements, to then upgrade the artwork of the card. So the card will then frame break, so it'll break out of the frame. And then after that, it's 3D, so the card's kind of in 3D, so on and so forth. Each time you do this, it levels up your collection. And as it levels up your collection rating, you unlock new cards. Period. That's it. You unlock new cards, more credits, more boosters. Which is nice. I will say, on the level of digital card games, it's not, I never felt, being a person not paying for the premium, that I was really missing out. Still, I don't like that the advertisement campaign has been 100% not pay to win. There is definitely a premium season pass in this, and you will definitely get cards that you can't get just playing the game. Alright, let's get into pros and cons. Pros. This is 100% the fastest card game I have ever played digitally, or at all, period. This game is stripped down, which we're actually going to talk about in the cons a little bit, but stripped down to just the most basic mechanics. It is easy to learn, and mastering it, I don't know if it's really tough to master, because I don't lose that much. And usually I'm beating people who are making stupid moves. But nonetheless, it's definitely easy to learn, definitely easy to construct a deck. And there is still some deeper deck building mechanics to it. But the idea of just like trying to fake out your opponent on what location you're building your power to is really what it is. The 6-turn thing, the 5-minute match time, it's quick, it's easy, you can get in, you can get out. Yeah, it really is speedy. My next pro is kind of original just to the mobiles. It does not drain your battery anywhere near as bad as I thought it was. I am on a newer phone, I do want to say that, but I played about a half an hour of this game, and I drained less than 2%. That's pretty impressive in my opinion, especially for a newer, kind of flashier game. It's very efficient on the battery life, and that's something I really appreciate, because there's a lot of games other than that. I have a Mahjong game on my phone that drains the phone worse than that. So that's a really nice addition. My next pro is definitely the artwork. The artwork's phenomenal on this throughout. I cannot question that whatsoever. Every card has some really cool hand-drawn art, and it also has some really interesting and cool variants. One of the things I like about the variants in this is instead of just like a different pose or something, it's a completely different style. I had a Punisher, the normal Punisher, which is just a badass Punisher. But then my variant Punisher is a kid version of Punisher with 2 Nerf guns shooting Nerf darts. Like stuff like that I think is really cool. And they have a lot of that in this game. And all of it's really well drawn, really well done. Alright, let's get into the cons. And I'm going to get a little long-winded on this, so bear with me and my voice. Alright, so they even said in one of the interviews, this game is stripped down to get you into the fun as fast as possible. This game is fast. It's very easy to get into, and it's very easy to understand. There's only 12 cards in a deck. Deck construction itself is pretty easy. That being said, it's missing something. And that something is the Marvel flair. If you're looking to play a card game with Marvel superheroes and you want to see, I want to see my Carnage versus their Wolverine or something like that, this just isn't the game. It takes all the fun power battles out of it. You almost never interact with your opponent's side of the field. There's only like a handful of cards that actually like destroy or kill your opponent's cards. In fact, most of the cards you play destroy or kill your cards. So it takes all that fun right out of it. It's really a movement guessing game. And while the mechanic of this game plays incredibly well, it feels more like the ex-Hearthstone designer came up with a cool idea for a card game and then shopped people who would be willing to give him money for it, and Marvel was the buyer. Because you could literally play Marvel Snap with anything. It could be DC Snap, but it could be Lord of the Rings Snap, or it could be Gears of War Snap. It doesn't matter what the subject matter is, because the play style of it is so fast and so cut down and so stripped down that there's nothing, that the only thing special about it is its speed. And that is unfortunate. And guys, I'm not saying this game plays bad. It plays really good. I have put many, many hours into it, and I plan on continuing to play it. It plays good, and there is some deep strategy to both deck construction and in the match play, especially with the snapping. The problem is it takes all that fun out of building your Avengers team and seeing how it goes against people, because none of that is happening here. It's just, did my power win? Okay, I get the points. Like, it doesn't really feel like a superhero battle. It doesn't feel like a superhero anything. It feels like you're playing your cards, your pretty cards. They're playing their pretty cards, and if you play them in the right spot, you win. It kind of seems like somebody, like a game that you would develop with trading cards when you were a kid because you didn't want to just look at them, you know? So that's my biggest problem with this game, without a doubt. There's no other real problems technically with it. Like I said, I think it plays great. I think it actually has some deep strategies. It is a lot of fun. But it's not Marvel fun. If you're looking for that Marvel experience, it's not there. There's no items. There's no support anything. There's no extra NPC characters. There's nothing. There's just your 12 superheroes and how those 12 superheroes interact with the locations. I do want to add one other little con. Some of these locations are wacky, And they take all the strategy out of whatever your deck creation is. And when this game is already super fast, and the only strategy that you put in is in your 12 card deck, I don't like cards like Weird Space, where when this location flips, you play with your opponent's deck. I don't want to play with my opponent's deck. I didn't build my opponent's deck. In fact, the whole point is for me to build my deck better than his. Why would I want to play his deck? Because I feel like mine's better. That kind of stuff is very frustrating. There's another one called Mindscape, where on the 6th turn, you have to play with your opponent's hand. That has a little bit better strategy because you can kind of like make sure all your good cards are played before you have to kind of switch it over to them, so that you end up kind of railroading them into a loss. But still, I don't want to play with their cards unless I'm stealing their cards with a deck creation style that I've made. I don't want to play with their cards. I want to play with my cards. And that's a little frustrating. So those are my only two real cons, but I think they're kind of big cons, honestly. Like I said, if you're looking for a fun, quick card game to do with your sit on the toilet or when you're trying to kill some time, this is definitely the game for you. If you're looking for a Marvel experience, this isn't the game for you, other than the very pretty pictures. All right, as far as whether or not I'm going to stick with it, I am. I enjoy the mechanics of the card game. I do like it, even though it's setbacks. And I hope this helped you guys. I'm going to try and do a couple more reviews here. They are going to be for older games or more independent games, just because I want to do some different reviews. I haven't been playing any really big AAA badasses lately, so I'm just going to review some stuff maybe I haven't reviewed in the past, or review some things that are a little bit smaller. You can check out everything we have to offer here on the channel. You can also join our Discord. The link is in the description below. You can influence this and everything from there. You can also talk to us on Facebook at OldManGamingDH and on Twitter at OldManGaming9. Thank you very much. As long as you keep watching and listening, I'll keep making them. See you guys next time.